Hi there. Today we are going to talk about the xARM's spring course. Now you got two spring cores for the arm that are going on the front and the back section, and unlike other Steadicam arms that the springs that they go on the front section and the back section are the same, on the xARM the spring cores are different. So what you've got basically is this spring core here saying back arm section only, okay, and you got the other section that basically has nothing written in it, okay. So when we say used in back arm section only, we are talking about the arm section that is closer to the socket block, okay. So here is the xARM, this is the back section closer to the socket block, and this is the front section closer to the arm post, okay. So the used in back arm section only goes closer to the socket block arm section, and the one that has no indication at all goes on the front arm section that is close to the arm post. Now, do not mix these ever, because if you do, the xARM will not work, okay? And the reason is that the xARM works in a totally different way than other Steadicam arms are. This section, this spring core, has a different rubber springs configuration than the front section. So if you swap them, you're going to get a totally bad result. You won't be able to tune the arm, you won't be able to sync it or anything like it, okay. It's going to be terrible. So always remember, used in back arm section only is for the arm section that is closer to the socket block, and the no indication spring core is to be used on the front arm section closer to the arm post. Do not ever mix those up. Be very careful with this, okay. Now its spring core, as you see, has a square groove, okay, and that's where the spring bearing bracket slips into when you change core. So basically, if you can see, the spring bearing bracket, it has a groove, okay, and has two needle bearings, one at each side. There is a little play, a side play on each bearing. That doesn't matter, because when you place this bracket, when you place it inside the arm and engage the spring core, it will line up and be centered, okay. So what I want to point out is this groove always goes on the outer side, okay. So this is engaged on the actual spring core. You don't put it like this, because then there is no engagement, okay. So when you put the spring core inside the arm, as I'm showing in the other video, which is showing you basically how to change cores, you slip it in there and then you just push it a little bit forward, and that's it. It's engaged. You know, it won't slip. It will stay mostly in position until you then you're going to tidy up everything as I show in the other video, and it's going to be fine. Just make sure always points out on the other direction, okay? Not the other way around. Now, about the weight capacity of the different color spring cores, okay? The xARM comes with 3 different colors. We've got the blue color, and you will see that there is indication, okay, stating the capacity of the arm. This one, the blue one, works from minimum 17 kilograms up to 22.5 kilograms, and that is the total weight of the sled and the camera package, everything that you are basically using on your shoot. Okay, now, saying that, you can go a little bit lower than the 70 kilograms. You can probably push it down to 15 kilograms. And you can go over than 22.5 kilograms. You can probably push it to 23.5 kilograms. So basically, the spring cores are a little bit over-calculated in both sides of the maximum tension and the minimum tension capacity. But you need to know, because the xARM is a different arm than all the arms in the market today. Basically, you got the linear arms or isoelastic arms, like the toughen arm, and you got the progressive arms, basically like the Pro GPI arm. The xARM is a progressive arm in terms of how it works, but at the same time, it's got a very different range due to the fact that it uses rubber springs, multiple rubber springs in a spring core configuration. So that means that though it is progressive, it's very linear at the same time. It's a marriage in between these two words, okay? And what happens is, as in all progressive arms, when you are close to the max capacity, which in the blue course is 22.5 kilograms or even 23.5 kilograms, because you can go a little bit over than that, about a kilo or so, the arm behaves almost or as good as any other linear isoelastic arm on the market, sometimes even better. When you go towards the lower range, 70 kilograms and lower, like 15 kilograms, which is, I wouldn't go lower than that, basically. That would be my stop. And there is no way to measure that unless you know what your sled is. But don't push it more than that. Because then the springs are so relaxed that the arm gets very springy. So when you go towards the lower range, meaning that you're using a core that with your sled and camera load, when you adjust it, your sled and camera weighs about 70 kilograms or 60 kilograms or 15 kilograms, and you're using this core, the blue core. That means that going lower, the arm is going to get a little bit more springy, okay? And that means that you're going to be lifting a little bit more weight, you're going to be pushing a little bit more weight. Saying that, it doesn't feel the same as, for example, a 3A arm, which you do, pull and push quite a lot to keep it, you put a lot of effort, basically pulling and pushing when you want to go from high mode to low mode, high boom or low boom range, okay? But the performance does change. However, because the xARM is frictionless, okay, there are very minimum components that are involved. They are like bearing supported, and they are like oversized bearings everywhere. The fact that it's frictionless and the fact that rubbers are more linear than any metal spring in the universe, that means that basically the arm still performs really, really well. Okay, so you got the spring core, states 17 to 22.5 kilograms. That means if you get a sled, all right, 22.5 kilograms or even 23 kilograms or even something 23.5 kilograms, because you go a bit over that, the performance is going to be like, you won't lift or pull anything at all. It's going to be completely linear and effortless. If you starting going down, meaning that your sled is 21 kilograms, then or 20 or 19 or 18 or 17 or even 16, the lower the weight goes towards the lower range of the spring core, means that the performance starts getting less linear. So that means that you start lifting a little bit more weight and pushing a little bit more weight, but the performance is still really, really good. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that at all. All you need to do is basically, when you get a gig, you already know more or less what kind of sled you're going to be using, total loads, what camera, lenses, or whatever. Just calculate, so you basically are in the middle of the spring core rates or towards the max, range of the spring core. Okay, so that means basically, for if you got a load around 21, 22 kilograms, and you know that you're going to be going down to 20, or maybe you're going to go up to 23, changing laces, that choose the blue core. Okay, if you have, we've got different colors. Okay, for example, we've got the cores that indicates 20 to 25 kilograms. If you think that you're going to be playing somewhere in between 22, 23 kilograms and 26 kilograms, okay, choose the orange core. It says 20 to 25.5 kilograms. Just know that it's a little bit overcalculated. You will be able to reach 26.5 kilograms in totally linear performance. So it all depends on your choice. If you are really in a rush and you don't really know what lenses are you going to be using, or you've got very, very different changes in components, lenses, or whatever, the weight changes dramatically, just calculate for one that includes both. For example, the orange says 20 to 25.5 kilograms. That means that it can properly perform, like from 19, 18 kilograms in a kind of springy performance, better than a 3A arm, but still springy, up to 26.5 kilograms. Okay, so you get quite a bit of a wide range. You can, think of what you're using. It's best to be kept in between the max and the minimum range. But if you are in a rush, you need a lighter configuration, and you don't have the time to change to go to the lighter spring core, just down tune the arm for a kilo or a couple of kilos. It will still work. You will do the shot. Okay, it's just good to know what each core does. It's different color. What is the performance you get using the correct cores for the correct sled and camera load? Okay, then it's all related to how much time you've got to get there. I mean, a lot of pro users don't bother. They just take the arm down and they work in a more springy or less ISO performance, because they cannot be bothered to change the Pro canisters. It's the same. It's the same application here. Okay, just know that don't take it lower than a couple of kilos from the minimum specification. Okay, and you always have about a kilo or a little bit more from the maximum. So in terms of that, you know what is best for you. So we've got the blue cores stating 17 to 22.5 kilograms. We've got the orange cores that state, let me do it in libras as well, sorry. It's 17 to 22.5 kilograms or 37.5 to 49.5 libras. You got the orange cores that they are specified from 20 to 25.5 kilograms or 44.5 libras to 56 libras. And we've got the purple reddish cores that they are specified from 23.5 kilograms to 29 kilograms or 52 to 64 libras. As you can see, the ranges are in between. When the orange stops, the orange core stops, the purple starts inside the orange core and goes up, and that happens to all the cores. So you got a range in between two cores as well to play with, so you can choose the correct core and not really be on the limits. We've got an optional green core that is specified from 14 to 19.5 kilograms or 31 to 43 libras. This is optional, so you pay extra to get this. The xARM ships with just the 3 other cores. It's pretty cheap anyway. If you feel that you fly lighter loads, you should get this as well. Last thing I want to point out about the spring cores is that the new design of the spring cores allows you to keep the adjustment tension even if you take the spring core from the arm. You can keep the setting. That means that if you are, for example, you're flying a certain sled and camera load in one day, and then you wrap up, and then next day you start with the same load, you don't have to do nothing. If for any reason you change course, you can just remember the setting that you used and know that this course were set to that, and you're just going to put them back on, and they work. Or you just let them on the arm. I mean, if you need to keep changing course for different loads, no matter what, it doesn't matter what the tension is adjusted to. When you take the spring core off the arm, they keep the setting, and just like a Pro canister does. Okay, so it's set to one tension. You take it off the arm to use something else, to use a different core, you keep the same setting. It doesn't, if you want to put it back, it will be at the same last setting that you did. Okay. Well, that's all, folks, about the spring cores. I think it's pretty good. I got a pretty good range and really good performance. And remember, even at the lowest specification weight that you're using, for example, you're using a sled is specified on its weight closer to the lowest weight of the spring core you're about to use, don't think that it's going to be like terrible, like very old 3A arms or whatever. It's just going to be a little bit more springy, but that's all there is to it. The performance is going to be really good. You're going to be able to use it fine to do the shot, and you can go lower than that if you need to, still gonna have a really, really good performance. Okay, so thank you, and let's make a few more videos to show you other things like how you balance the arm for best performance and everything. Talk later.